they will keep that as record as well. They will keep, I will
Yeah.
share the recording with them, so they will have everything on record. So they will be hearing everything from you, and if even if they have any questions regarding any part of the project, they can ask, and everything will be crystal clear for them. So Talha,
Yeah.
Adil, you can share the user flow and give Imran some idea what we have perceived so far, what we have understood so far about the project. Let us give him the idea of our knowledge.
All right, thank you, Tamur. Dala, kindly share your screen, please.
Sure, I'm sharing. Can someone please make me host for screen sharing?
Okay. Can you see now? Can you share now?
Okay. Yes.
I made sure that everyone can do that, but I think still something messed up. But you can share now. Anyone can share.
So, can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Maybe you have to stop sharing and then you have to share the screen again
Okay.
because we see a black screen.
Now?
Share your screen, Dala.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So, Imran, how are you?
Yes. Yeah. Good. Not bad. Yourself? You okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Uh, so this is the main flow diagram for the change management platform. I
Mhm.
have read all the details which you have written wrote in the document and shared with us. So this is the basic flow. So this is not very much detailed flow, but is something very abstract level flow diagram to understand what we are going to build in the future.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So user gonna come on our website, and if the user has some sort of subscription, he gonna land on main web page. So this is basic flow. Then there will be three options for user. uh, User can go for digital playbook to check the all the data available in the vector db, and the stuff we have uploaded so far in a categorical form. Like there is a training stuff, there is a section for training stuff, there is a section for educational stuff, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So another section will be upload document for to add data into a vector db, so that AI assistant can evolve time over time by time, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So user can upload document obviously will be parsed. It could be mp3, it could be mp4, and it could be any sort of document. Then obviously some sort of data cleaning steps for to clean the data, and then the data will then dump into the pinecone db for vector search similarity for AI assistant use, right?
Mhm.
So the third section will be the main section, which gonna be very much I think the core section of this whole you know change management platform. So there will be a AI assistant which can be toned for different styling, and can be very much adaptive for kind of feedback based analysis, and you know can evolve itself based on the user feedback.
Yeah.
Based on the
Okay.
user, it is
So let's
interacting, and based on the feedback
yeah
that is coming from
yeah
the users, it will be evolving.
So there will be two scenarios. Let's say user came and user started starting
Can
chatting
you
with the
slightly
AI
zoom?
assistant.
Talha, can you slightly
Yeah.
zoom into it?
Okay.
Yes.
Now is it
Yes, yes. Thank you.
okay? Okay. So there will be two kind of scenarios. Like if user came and user wrote its first query for any sort of data I want to get from the platform. So system will simply fetch the relevant document from VectorDB and present that whole text into a more human readable format to give more in a form of good description, right?
Mhm.
And let's say if user have already started this conversation with the assistant, so there will be a chat history database for that will store the all the queries and responses in the DB. So
Mhm.
we can save that response. We can pin that response in order to
Yeah.
for future references, or we can get that document for which we got the similarity based using VectorDB. Like I'm looking for Muhammad Talha's resume, and I search for uh, what Muhammad Talha does in AI side. So system will provide me all the details and my resume link as well. So you can find this PDF here, right?
Okay. Okay. So that's
So
okay. Right.
okay, so there will be another thing like summarization kind of stuff. So someone can upload the document and summarize that
Mm.
into a small paragraph or
Yeah.
whatever kind of stuff the user need at that time. Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where the AI assistant, so they have the ability to upload their own file, document, whatever it is, and then
yeah,
they can ask questions
yeah,
on that particular and say, give
yeah,
me the top 5, cities with the highest crime rate or something. And
so,
it would respond
yeah,
that based on the information within. Yeah.
okay. But my here I have one question. Like
Mhm.
if you are or any major user, any admin is uploading the document, that's gonna will be saved into Pinecone DB. But if more users came and they uploaded the document into the vector DB, maybe the user will upload the wrong document, and that's gonna
Mm.
uh,
Mhm.
create a mess for vector
Yeah.
similarity.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
what
need
you
to manage
suggest
that.
for
Yeah.
this kid? What I will suggest is maybe we can uh, for the time being we can restrict this thing for certain user for our
Mm.
AI accuracy, because if we are putting wrong documents in our vector DB, we might get
Mm.
wrong answers from our assistant.
Yeah, so I think about that particular functionality. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right there that it could create a mess. But the other thing that it could do as well is it's it's a worry from a security perspective, because if a user's uploading their own corporate data, which is confidential, which they shouldn't do anyway, which we should have, I guess, in the terms of terms and conditions, we should specify that. But if they're uploading their own corporate data, then that's a worry as well. So my initial understanding of that particular functionality was it's a one-time instance. So the user uploads, they ask a question on that particular piece of functionality, sorry, on that particular document. They get the responses, and then once they close a session, that information is potentially lost. Maybe not the response, but the information, the contextual information, the document is potentially lost. So they have to. So it's a one-time activity where they have to keep doing that if they want to ask a question on a particular document, perhaps.
okay.
But
So
So
the
maybe
user
that's
will
maybe that's the way
upload
forward.
the
I mean,
document
it's
for each section again and again, right?
So this is so I'm not sure what you mean by each section, but my understanding was for because if I go through the different things, so here you've got the upload document, you've got a digital playbook, and you've got the AI assistant. Now, when I first looked at this diagram, I was thinking, well, where's the AI assessment? You know, we've got the AI assessment. Where's the AI assessment? Because it sounds like what you're saying is a user's uploading documents and that's getting cleansed, but you've missed actually the core part of the functionality, which is the
Okay.
AI assessment, you know, guided conversation, which we would help formulate. So I would help formulate the responses, and we'd work together to say, right, actually, what is the first question, second question, and then the user would be
Yeah.
guided through, like, you know, tell me about your project, tell me about your stakeholders, and they would answer, but they would also upload data at each point, and it would capture that information, and then the output would be that dashboard that it says, right, here's your strategy, here's your key messages, here's your stakeholder summary, here's your you know, change impact, here's X, Y, and Z. So it looks like that core functionality is kind of missing from this.
Yeah, you are right. We actually didn't add that section because we were at that time not very much clear about AI assessment. That's why, you know, we hold this session to understand more about that side. This was the side which we which we which we were clear, and you know,
Yes, so they were
all detail
basically
has mentioned here.
brainstorming together about that
Yeah.
Yeah.
particular feature.
Yeah,
That's
and
why it
that's
was
what
not
I
ready.
expect,
It's
you
not
know.
complete.
Yeah, and that's what I'm, you know, trying to say on the emails with yourself, Tim Ord. I'm saying, look, let's have some regular sessions where we can flesh this out together, because
Yeah.
you know, you guys are just not going to be able to think through.
Hello? Can anyone listen to us? I
Yes,
think
I
You
can,
I
know,
but
think we
I'm
there's
have
a
lost
step
listening.
missing
Imran.
here. There's a step missing there.
Imran, we missed some part of the conversation from your side.
Oh, sorry. I think it says my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me better now?
We can hear
Yeah,
you
yeah.
now, but there was, you know, for
Yeah.
the last 5-6 seconds, we completely lost you.
Oh,
Talha, can you
okay.
share
Yeah.
the
So
screen again?
yeah. So what I was saying was, I think, you know, next week, if we have a few hour-long sessions, right, and so maybe 2 or 3 hour-long sessions each, and we can spread those throughout the week, and we work through each section. So digital playbook, the assessment, the AI assistant, and then at the end of it, we can say, well, how do they integrate? Where is the different integration points? And that way we can work through step by step and say, what are we trying to achieve by the playbook, by the assessment? Because I'm the one with the functional knowledge, right? You guys are just not going to be able to figure this out without me, right? So that's what I was expecting, and that's what I was planning for. That in the beginning, in the first 2 weeks, we'd have probably a good few sessions to talk through the intention of the platform, the different bits of functionality, you know, what a user does at each specific step, and then that would help you to write the scope and the technical document and the user stories, which again I can input and I can validate and I can go work through and say this doesn't look right, that doesn't look right, because as we talk through each specific functionality, you guys are going to have questions, I'm going to have to respond, and we need to do it in a conversation, right? Over email, over text messages, it's just not going to work. So I've got the time, you know, so I think that's probably the best way forward, right? Because
Yes.
even with the playbook, the way you've described it, I'm not sure I fully get it, to be honest. I'm not sure I fully understand it, the way that it's going to really, you know, I can't visualize how it's going to work.
Actually, this is a high level flow, so we didn't add any, you know,
They
detailed
didn't go into
information here.
nitty-gritty.
Yeah, that's not a problem, and that's not a problem at all. I think what I'm trying to say is if we record, so if we have these sessions next week, you know, I'm friendly, you know, my idea is just to make sure we develop the right thing and we do it without wasting your time, you know, and without me, because obviously what I don't want to do is in 3 weeks' time, you guys come back to me and half of it is not really what I expected. So to avoid that, let's just have the conversation now. Let's just work through it. And I think if we record those sessions, you guys can then go away and you've got everything recorded. So then you can make your notes. You can make notes during the session if you like as well. And then that will help you finalize this diagram better. And I'm available on, whatever platform you want to talk to me on, Slack as well for instant messaging.
All right. Okay. We can set up some communication as well. I told you, and we
Yeah.
will enable, I think, WhatsApp chat, that is convenient
Yeah,
for all of
WhatsApp
us.
chat. Yeah, let's do
We can
WhatsApp,
create
but
a
also if
WhatsApp
we could
group
do
because
Slack.
this is something that
Yeah, Slack is also good.
Okay,
If we
Slack.
could do Slack as well, because I'm on my desktop a lot of the time, so it's difficult for me to respond. It's
No
hard
issue,
to type
no
on the
issue.
phone
We
a
can
lot,
do
but
WhatsApp
set
chat.
up the WhatsApp group as well, and we can have ad hoc conversations on there. But I think Slack would be better for me
Let's
throughout the
do
day,
both.
because then I can
Let's
send you
do
stuff
both.
as well. Yeah,
Let's do both.
yeah, let's do both. Yeah.
And I suggest that maybe we can start having 2 or 3 weekly sessions. One
Yeah.
on, we can have the first session on Monday and maybe next one on Thursday again, same time.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So the timing for me, look, I also have other projects I'm working on for a client. So I sometimes get stuck with my meeting. So the only thing I would double check with is on a Monday. Let me just check next. So on Monday, 11. Yeah, Monday at this time works for me. I think let's go for an hour, right? So let's
Yes.
let's go for an hour at least. And then you're saying Thursday about this time currently works for me as well, to be honest. Yeah, and if you want to do one on a Friday just to catch up and say, look, do we have any questions or anything like that, then we can do that half an hour session maybe on a Friday as well.
Yeah, or we can do that. If everything is on your convenience, if you're available, we can have that session.
Yeah.
And you will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
able
I mean,
to see how
I
the
will
team is
become.
moving.
Yeah, so I will make myself available. I just need to do it around my meetings, but you don't need to worry about my time. You just tell me, right, we're going to have these sessions and I'll make sure I find a time in my diary. So let's go for Monday and Thursday and
Yes.
let's make those an hour, about an
Yes,
hour
exactly.
at least. I can even do 2 hours, to be honest. So, sky's the limit for me.
Yeah, Imran, I'm gonna add something. If you can, provide some
Clarity.
detail, discovery and clarity about the
Yeah.
platform for digital playbook and AI assessment, right? So what we were gonna do is we gonna prepare ourselves for the updated flow diagram and then other maybe we might have some other questions regarding
Yeah.
assessment AI assessment after making the flow, updating the flow.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, let me provide you with a very quick, because we've got 10 minutes still. Let me provide with a very quick summary now anyway, just so you have a bit more context.
Imran,
And then
we are
Yeah.
okay for even for 1 hour if you're available.
Yeah, I'm available, to be honest. I'm fully available, so
we can extend this
it's
meeting
not a problem for me.
to 1 hour. We are okay with that.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right. So I mean, we could start already now, right? So do you want to go into detail on the assessment specifically?
Let's start. I think
Yeah.
they wanted to know more about the digital playbook for now or the AI assessment.
All right. Let's talk
Both.
about the assessment first. Yeah. And, sorry, did you have a preference yourself?
AI assessment, guys, or digital playbook?
Anything you like that for
I think
digital
let's go with
playbook
the
or
AI
AI
assessment. Let's start with the
Yeah.
AI assessment.
Okay. All right. So for the AI assessment, okay, my initial understanding of this was, and if I think about my day job, you guys might do something similar as well, where you have documents that you have to prepare, and what I generally tend to do is I work through in quite a methodological manner, right? So I have a methodology that I follow, and while I'm talking, I'll try and find the relevant documents. Just give me a second. Actually, it will help if I show something.
Imran, can you share your screen? We cannot see your screen.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to
Sure. Take your time.
I'm just going to download that and then just make sure this is the right document. Yeah, all right. So I will share my screen now. All right, let me know when you can see that, yeah.
We can see that.
Okay. Right. So when I conduct change management, I generally do it in 3 phases. You have, preparation, you have the managing, and then you have the reinforcement, which is right at the end of the project towards go live, beyond go live as well. So it's very similar to the kind of work you do. You guys are a technical team, you're developing software, and I do, I work on IT projects all the time, putting in place an ERP, a HR system, a new document, a repository system, whatever it is, doesn't really matter to me. But I tend to manage the people side. So it's all around stakeholder engagement, communications, and training. Okay, and how to keep all my stakeholders impacted. So within that, change managers often have to do different things, like creating a high-level strategy. A high-level strategy is something like very much like this document here or this PowerPoint. Talks about, the background, how we're planning to manage the people side of the project, what success means to us, how we're looking to manage our stakeholders, how we're looking to manage our communications, how we're looking to manage our training. So it's quite descriptive in nature. You'll have a lot of these kind of things where you've got frameworks about, how to manage leadership, things like this, the change curve, which talks about how the emotions people go through as they're progressing through a particular change. And things like this, it talks about how to manage a particular different stakeholder and how to move them through, awareness all the way to reinforcement, to making sure they have the right information at the right time as well. And all of these different activities, they sit within different buckets, but the output is always something where you gather information, right? So for example, when I'm creating a strategy, I need to understand a few things, like I need to understand how do I want to manage communications? How do I want to manage training? How do I want to manage my engagement? How difficult are my stakeholders likely to be? All of that sorts of stuff. And then there are, various different activities that tend to happen, such as a change impact assessment, a stakeholder analysis, and all of these sorts of things. So when building the assessment, as a change manager, I logically work for each of these different steps, right? So when building the assessment, I want it to be asking certain questions to the user to say, right, to develop your strategy, I need this information, and the user might describe it. So they may have, already created a few PowerPoints where it describes the business case for the project, and it describes what the project is about. They might copy and paste that in. They might even simply select a few things. So maybe, again, we can, define how the response is on the particular screen, in the sense, is it description, or do we just simply make it as easy as possible and say, choose a type of project, whether it's an IT project, organizational project, is it something like this? And as the user works through each of the different questions, so as the AI is prompting the user with, give me more detail, and it's asking more questions, like, tell me about your project, tell me about, your team, tell me about your stakeholders, tell me about your timelines, and tell me about the impacts. For example, the change impact, the change impact assessment. So this one here is, we're trying to understand what is the users doing today. So what is the current state? What is the to-be state? What's happening? What's changing going forwards? And each of these different steps, it gathers more information, and then the output would be the tools and templates that I can show in a moment as well. So it would be then structured into these various dashboards that would say, right, here's your strategy in terms of, here's how we think you should manage your communications. Here's how we think you should manage your training. Here's how we think you should manage your engagement. Here is your impacts that you provided to us. So you've said that you've got these different impacts, and again, that's probably best way to do it is probably to get to again ask some basic questions and also get more input from a user uploading a spreadsheet, and then that would present back to the user all of these outputs, right? So it's kind of collating all of the different data that the user has, and then it's bite-sizing that up into a dashboard that the user can navigate through and say, right, here's my strategy. If you think of a typical Excel, it might look something like, different tabs, and on each of the different tabs, you might have more and more data. So a strategy, and then it might go into, for example, a change impact assessment, and it might go into a stakeholder analysis. And I can show you what these documents look like as well. So, for example, when I say a change impact assessment, this is what I mean. Something that looks like this, right? Doesn't, I don't want it to look exactly like this. I want it to look a lot more interactive and a lot more simple. But at the same time, here you can see, right, the type of questions that I would ask. So why are we changing? Why are we changing now? Or what is changing? What's not changing? What are the benefits? Who are the stakeholders being impacted? What does success look like? This is actually the change impact assessment. This is, what are you not going to be doing going forward? What are you doing today? You could also ask a different question. You could say, what are you doing today versus what are you going to be doing tomorrow? Who does this affect? Is this perceived as something good or something bad by the users? How highly are they impacted? High, medium, or low? How supportive will they be, et cetera, et cetera? What are the benefits? What are the key messages that you want to define per each of these stakeholder groups? So, for example, for this particular stakeholder group here, for customer marketing and marketing teams, they are changing the way that they're looking to work. So here we're just saying that one of the key messages is that we want to identify and portray across to them that their roles and responsibilities will be changing going forwards with this new particular tool. So as we work through each of these, you can see that it's pretty much asking questions. So the change assessment here, it needs to almost do this role where it's kind of asking these questions and gathering more data from the user,
Imran,
and then it populates.
Imran,
Yeah.
I think you are on a different screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again.
By the way, Imran, the meeting is about to end in 2 minutes. So I already have sent you another link. And guys, I also sent you another link. I don't know why it happened.
Okay.
So, maybe
It's probably the free plan that you're on. Yeah.
it was the upgraded plan, but I will see with the team
Right.
why we are having this issue. We usually choose Google Meet, but we only choose
Yeah, that's fine for me as
Zoom
well.
for the meeting recording. So the meeting can be recorded,
Okay.
and the
All right.
guys can use this recording anytime they want.
Okay, let me log into the new one then. Yeah.
Yes, let us start with the other meeting. Maybe it will take me 2-3 minutes to join the
That's
new
fine.
meeting, because the meeting will be converted into a recording, and recording sometimes takes 2 to 3 minutes.
All right, no worries,
So
no worries.
maybe the
I'll
meeting
see.
will start in 2 to 3 minutes. So please bear with us.
All right, that's fine.
So guys,
That's
I
fine.
have sent you another link. So after 2 to 3 minutes, you can join that meeting.
Sure.